Morning guys, how's it going? It's Friday 19th of November 2021. Right, let's have a quick look at markets. Dollar index still looking overextended to me. Whether this retraces back to the trend line, or we've got a nice level of resistance here. We also have fib levels. Okay, what generally happens is that a retracement just to the 38.2% retracement, and then if it goes again, that means it's quite a strong trade because it's a very small pullback. But a standard pullback is 61.8%. So 61.8 actually lines up nicely with this zone here. So I would preferably like to see that, but let's see what the market brings us. Potential dollar weakness. And talking about dollar weakness, if you followed my analysis yesterday, my update, I said look for long trades above this candle, because we've had this on euro dollar daily. We've had this nice bearish move. Look at all these bearish candles here. Then we get this doji candle or exhaustion candle where the sellers take price down. But look, it's important to look at the open and close, and this very, very small body here compared to these big bodies, and then all of a sudden we get an equilibrium of buyers and sellers. And that's basically, almost imagine a ball being thrown on the floor. It hits the floor and then it starts to bounce back up. That's basically what is happening here. So well done if you went long or took some buys above. This was Wednesday's high. Yep, this was Thursday's candle. So you would have got some pips off that. You'd probably still be in the trade actually. So you got about 40 odd pips from that. So not bad at all. Let me just put some moving averages on this for a second. Okay, so daily chart, my moving averages here are 20 in blue and the 8 in black. Okay, look how price moves with the averages. So minimum I would suggest for this to move is back to this 8 moving average. Okay, it's very rare that the market doesn't pull back and at least interact with the 8 moving average. Okay, it's very rare on for anything really that you're trading, any of the currency pairs. Just have a look to see how they move and react around moving averages. Okay, some people don't use moving averages at all. That'll be down to you. I do. I use them mixture with my for targets, also to identify trends. So have a go if you've not used moving averages before. As I say, this is the 20, this is the 8. So we've got that ball bouncing off the floor. So what we're doing is we're correcting this last impulse, and that would have started here as that pushed down all the way down here. So we could draw a fib. It's basically what I did on the dollar index, and we could identify areas where this could pull back to. So we've got the 38.2 there, you've got the 50% there, you've got the 61.8 here, and that lines up nicely with this support here, previous support. But absolute minimum, if you want to target, would be this 8 moving average for me. But this has the potential to pull back further. Okay, so you can have more than one target. You could have a target 1 being this 8 moving average, and you could have target 2 being maybe the 38.2% retracement, or target 2 being the 50% retracement. Down to you guys as traders. Traders will have their own strategies. They'll have their own ways of entering trades. Two traders will not necessarily take the same trade in the same way or have the same targets. So, but that is what I would say is a minimum target, this 8 moving average. So if you took that long on above the high of this candle, then you should see price at least come and interact with that 8 moving average. Let's have a look at the Dow. Dow actually came into my target area for shorts yesterday. I can't remember if I talked about this in the update videos. I'm pretty sure I had at some point, but again, look guys, okay, this is the weekly chart though, with the 20 and the 8, and price was basically overextended from the moving averages on the weekly. We'd had 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 bullish weeks. Then we had our first bearish week, and that was my indication that sellers were coming back in the market, and price was going to retrace the move at least back to the 8 moving average, and that's exactly what happened yesterday. And look what happened. Okay, price came into that 8 moving average on the weekly, and then buyers started to come in again, and now price is all the way up here. I'll just show you that on the smaller time frame. So that was roughly here. You can see price went all the way down there. This was a very, very bearish candle. I remember it. Yesterday I was watching it, and then boom, we hit that weekly 8 moving average, and the buyers start to come in again. So does that mean now that we're going to get more buying now on the Dow? Is the correction over? Well, we'll see. We've got a couple of things to look out for really. So let's just look at the Dow on the weekly. So yeah, price can here, look, price interacted with the 8, it popped its head down a little bit further, also did it again there. It can actually have a bit more of a pullback if we look. It doesn't always just bounce off the 8, sometimes it does though, but sometimes we can have like double bottoms, we can have deeper corrections, can even test this 20 moving average. So it's potential now that we could see longs on the Dow. But what would we be looking for to get long in this market, and how do we know if we should be going long or short? So I've got the 4 hour here. So this is the current 4 hour trend. This is without moving averages. You can see this high, lower, low, lower, low. This is that test of that 8 moving average on the weekly. So we are still officially in a 4 hour downtrend. So this could still be a correction, and we could still see another move down. We could test that low here, maybe get double bottom. We could go a little bit lower, but we could still be in a downtrend, and we shouldn't really be buyers on this market until price starts to break this 4 hour downtrend. So wait, for me, yes, the bigger trend is an uptrend, obviously. The current sentiment on the smaller time frame, this 4 hour time frame, is short as far as we are aware. So we're seeing an impulse, a correction, an impulse. This is potentially a correction. We could see another impulse down, and then maybe we could see that first bullish impulse, then we can look for a pullback, then we can look for another move. So we'll see. We could be doing this. So keep your eyes open on the Dow. S&P, I think this is due some downside. Look where this is compared to the weekly moving averages. Okay, so I've just showed you on the Dow how price was extended away from the moving averages on the weekly, and it pulled back to the 8. Well, look at this S&P on the weekly. It's just made, I'm guessing this is all-time high actually. I don't think it's ever been as high as it is now. 4724.7. So literally, as I'm pretty much recording this, it's oh no, sorry, that's the weekly. But yeah, this candle here, which is the daily candle, it's literally making all-time highs. But weekly, look where the weekly is compared to the 8 moving average. It's all the way up here. The 8 is down here. We've also got a bit of structure here, okay, which we've broken and not retested. So look at price, how it moves. Is it likely that we will see the S&P sell off on a smaller time frame as we make that correction towards that 8 moving average and perhaps towards this horizontal resistance here. I think it is likely, so look out for that to see if we do get a change of cycle. So this is the current price action on the 4 hour, and can you see that 4 hour bullish, the Dow 4 hour is bearish? So different indices, one is bullish, one is bearish at the moment, so one necessarily doesn't mean, you know, we should be following whatever the Dow is doing and the S&P should be doing exactly the same. They're independent. So this is bullish at the moment. I would start looking for this trend line to break and start making lower highs, lower lows, or look for some sharp bearish price action, which would indicate that that sell-off has started. Okay, we're not there at the moment. We're just expecting it. Looking at that weekly. So we've made a new high. Look, we've got this high. We've got this higher high here. But look, this is the MACD. Price is making higher highs. Price on the MACD making lower highs. Can you see? We've got this peak there, lower peak, and we've got this high, higher high, higher high, higher high, all-time high actually, but a potential lack of strength or momentum in that move to the upside. So definitely watch this, guys, for shorts. I would not be buying it where it is at the moment. Okay, keep your eyes on it. Now what I would suggest maybe is, okay, how would we know if this is selling off? Well, it would start making lower lows, wouldn't it? Now that to me here, this one, that tip of the wick there, this is where we've got some 4 hour support. Now if we can break that and close below it, then that is a great sign of sellers entering the market. So all I'm going to do, really simple, just place an alert below that low. I'm going to put a little note just saying 4 hour support broken, and then look for sells towards weekly 8 exponential moving average, or EMA. Really simple. Okay, sometimes you can put alerts and you might forget why you've put them there. Just put yourself a little message, a little note to remind you. Okay, so I'm not interested in longs, I'm interested in shorts for the reasons that I've explained. A few more charts. Gold, I am looking for shorts on this. I've explained this pretty much actually in a couple of previous updates, but yeah, this bearish engulfing candle, we are selling from this a 61.8% retracement. Let me just get rid of this for a second, guys. So we placed a sell limit at the 61.8% retracement of this bearish engulfing candle. There you go, the 61.8. It was a sell limit. Stops at 80.80. So above that high there. I'm just looking for this to break down and at least come back into this zone here. You can see the trend at the moment is bullish. We've had a big impulse. Now what do we expect after an impulse? We expect a correction. So looking for that correction. Now it might just come back into this level here. But if we draw a fib, if I'm going to presume that this is the high of the move, we go from the start of the impulse here to the top of the impulse, 38.2% retracement brings us into this level very nicely. And like I said, it's a strong trend if it bounces off the 38.2. But you know, you got your 50 here, you got your 61.8, where price could equally come back to as well before buyers come into the market. So I am predicting shorts on gold at least into this 38.2% retracement, and yeah, as you can see, that's where my target is. And that's, you know, if that comes off, it's a very nice trade. It's in profit at the moment. As you can see, it's about Where are we? Prices around there at the moment. It's about 0.6. I'm not going to say that. It's about 0.6. Yeah, about 6.4, 6.5% in profit, something like that. So it's all good. What I'm going to do is just a way of just explaining why I've got an alert here as well. Well, firstly, what I'm seeing is a potential head and shoulders pattern, or higher highs and lower highs. So it looks like it's going to break down. This is my neckline. This is my last lower low. So if price can break that low there, and more in particular if it closes below it, then we can put this trade over here to break even, because I'm going to presume then that that is the move down. So yeah, it's not just a case of placing a trade, setting and forgetting it. You do need to manage the trade as well. So I'll be looking for that. Oil is very, very interesting. Oil's in a very, very interesting position as well, because we have tested this swing high here, and look, we came into it, boom, buyers came into the market. So does that mean it's a very, very bullish market? Does that mean we're going to see the next impulse? Yeah, possibly. I've got this resistance trend line in here, 1, 2, expecting price to come all the way up here. So longs on this market could pay dividends, but is it ready to go? That is the question. Are we now looking for buys? Well, let's have a little look at the smaller time frames. What I can see that from this move here, we have a move down, we have a correction, we have a move down. This is still, in theory, a correction. We could still make another move down. We haven't changed cycle. We haven't actually changed cycle till we break this high here. Okay, because then we would have made a higher high. At the moment, it's high, lower high, and we're still lower than this high. So what we want to see is buyers take control of the market, make a higher high, correction, and start doing that. Okay, so we want the market to start looking like this, where at the moment sellers are still in charge in theory on the smaller time frame. So keep your eyes on oil. Okay, if that changes trend, that changes cycle, and the buyers are starting to become in charge of the market on a 4-hour time frame, I would start looking for buys and targets all the way up here. So a bit of a longer video from me today, coming up to about 18 minutes. I don't normally do them that long, so I've gone into things a little bit in more detail, because I know we have a varied amount of traders with different experience. Some are very experienced, some are not so experienced at all, and just learning how to trade and about moving averages, etc. So just thought I would go a little bit deeper into the analysis of some of the charts. Hope you understood. Hope you do well today out of the markets. If you didn't quite get some of the stuff I've said, listen, just have another look at the video, have another couple of looks, and I hope that you did learn something anyway. So from me, guys, if I don't speak to you before, have a great weekend, and I'll speak to you soon. Bye.